Hello, my name is Andy. In my previous video, I showed my process of making some miniature sketchbooks, modeled after my own sketchbook journal. I wanted to continue this thread and create one of my next vital tools, a pencil. Although I would love my videos to have minimal to no background audio or voiceover, I don't yet have the ability to record my art process without background noise. To compensate for this, I figured I would tell you a little story. A story about the pencil in the video, about the little bear that uses it, and how he came to acquire it. In a suburban town rests a clustered neighborhood. Within stands a home much like those next to it, although a little less upkept. The grass stands a little taller than the neighbors. The shutters are fading in the sun. The driveway cracks and splinters, with crevices large enough for a mouse to climb in. In this home, there lives an artist. He is eager to learn about the world around him. He fills many sketchbooks with portraits of loved ones, furniture from around the house, the scenery outside, the cracks in the driveway. But for all of this, he needs a pencil. And not just any pencil will do. He likes simple tools, so he looks for a wooden pencil instead of a mechanical one. There are many, but which to choose? He has small hands, so he searches for one short enough, but with no luck. He is distracted easily, so he searches for one with no designs on it, for which he finds a few, but none with no markings at all. He is focused, so he searches for a pencil that won't have rough spots in the graphite. These pencils are more expensive, but they will have to do. He scavenges the house for spare change and buys a decent pencil. First things first, it's too long. He carefully takes a craft knife and rolls it along the wood. After he has created a deep groove, he snaps the pencil in half. He turns it over in his hands. This length will do, he nods. He stores the extra pencil piece away for later. At least now he has a backup pencil. Now for the decoration. The pencil is very plain, but it still has writing on it. He carefully transcribes what's written on it so that he may find and buy another pencil later, setting this note aside with the extra pencil piece. Taking some coarse sandpaper, he scrubs away the painted finish. It doesn't require much, and it has left him with a much duller pencil, but that is exactly what he is looking for. He tests it out on some scrap paper, and after sharpening it to a wicked point, he is ready. With pencil in hand, our artist turned to his shelf of sketchbooks and loose paper. There were more decisions left to be made. To really test his pencil, our artist decides to go for a small hike in his local park and do some studies of the plants, insects, and small critters he finds there. This rules out the very large drawing pads. It would be a mighty hassle to carry those through the woods. This surprisingly rules out his smallest sketchbooks as well. Those he finds best for when he didn't anticipate wanting to draw, but if he is going out specifically to sketch, then it doesn't make sense to hinder how much he can draw. Left with all his medium-sized sketchbooks and paper pads, our artist is at ease, knowing that there are not many decisions left to be made. The biggest difference between all these books and pads is the paper quality. He has thinned, lined paper for writing notes, thick paper for large drawings, and the thickest that can handle watercolors. Despite how useful the thickest paper can be, it's not needed for the pencil studies. Our artist picks a sketchbook with unlined, thin paper, but sturdy enough for some light erasing. Now, with all our tools ready, our little artist collects his things, grabs a water bottle, and heads off. The park is a short distance away, so he decides to walk. This will shorten the amount of time he can spend at the park, but it does give him more opportunities to sketch. In particular, he was hoping to catch his neighbor's one dog. Our artist took a small detour to the house, and sure enough, there she was. The chunky and grayed chocolate lab smiled open-mouthed and wagged her tail as he approached. He gave her some scratches and pets, and then it was off to the park. The park is small, but it is plenty for what our little artist needs. Although he planned to travel into the small woods a bit, the jungle gym draws his eyes. The bright, smooth blues and reds against the dull, rusted crevices is too intriguing. His first page is filled with the jungle gym, bordered by a few rough trees. Once he can pull himself from the playground, he enjoys a small walk. He stops when he hears a particularly loud bird. He looks around until he realizes he is standing under a branch with a bundle of twigs and grass packed in a crook. He is under a bird's nest, with presumably the parent in the tree across the path yelling at him. He backs away from the nest and sits on a fallen log. As the parent bird watches him intensely, he sketches the nest. By the time the nest has been fleshed out on his page, the parent has returned. He adds the bird to the page. Once he is satisfied, he sets off again. He does not make it far before he finds a tiny patch of flowers. His neighbors may call them weeds, but they are simply common local flowers, and they are exactly why he came here. He starts with just one of the stalks, with a perfect flower on the end. He adds the stalks next to it with the leaves. He connects the stalks down to the earth. It is finished, but as he looks at his subject again, he realizes he was not drawn to this spot because of just a single perfect flower. So he adds a neighboring flower. He adds the flower closest to the path that got crushed. He adds a tiny plant, just barely 2 stems with some leaves. When he is finally done, the entire page is a patch of flowers. Now he can move on. He spent the rest of his small hike on quick observations: a praying mantis having a meal, a quick beetle, a bare patch of earth, and a massive boulder. Satisfied, out of water, and a little hungry, it was time for our artist to head home. What a successful day. For this project, I wanted to challenge myself a little further and create not an artist's pencil, but a regular one with an eraser and ferrule. While the pencil part works just fine, I will admit that the eraser is difficult to use, and I would have liked if it came out a little cleaner looking. For showing off the pencil, the miniature sketch pads were easier to see than the sketchbook, which is unfortunate, but rest assured that our little bear has a pile of paper to work with. Let me know if there are any tools you find vital, perhaps your own sketchbook or specific pencil. I would like to add to our little artist's tools, so let me know if there's anything you would like to see scaled down. Thank you for watching.